Morning, everyone. Welcome back to another CI Chit Chat. Mitchell Hora with you here. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I've got a long one ahead of me. I've got to drive all the way to Fargo here today, so that sounds real fun. But it's gonna be good. So we'll have some time if anyone's needs a phone call. I've got a long drive to take them. All right, we'll tee things off here like we normally do. We're talking carbon intensity. We're talking CI scoring. This is the scoring calculator from the U.S. Department of Energy. There's a huge opportunity emerging for us with the 45Z tax credit. And that's a biofuel producer tax credit, not a farmer tax credit, but it's a tax credit for biofuel producers who are lowering their carbon intensity. They can do that with carbon capture or pipelines. They can do that with low carbon corn or feedstocks. They can do that with more renewable energy. But of course, for us, it's all about how do we make sure that the low carbon feedstock, the corn, soybeans, whatever, get that into these supply chains and likely be able to make sure that the farmer gets a percentage of the 45Z credit that's being created. So low carbon grain to produce low carbon biofuel to earn these 45Z tax credits and monetary value being able to be shared throughout the chain. Going to cruise through here today. If you've got some questions, definitely put your questions in the chat. We'll hang out and continue to take your questions. We got a couple things that need to be addressed. But actually, U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack is going on to address growth energy here this morning. They're starting like really, really soon here this morning, and I'd really like to go and listen in and figure out exactly what he's got going on. I've got some of the other people from the team are listening in to Secretary Vilsack, but I'm going to try to make this a really short and sweet CI Chit Chat here this morning and get over there and see what old Tom Vilsack's got to say. Hopefully, some indication of some rules coming here soon, but we'll see what he says. So, Growth Energy is one of the big lobbying organizations for the biofuels industry. It's a big one that like Poet helped to start and stuff like that. But Growth Energy, big lobbying group, they have their event going on this week in DC. I looked at going to it. We're members of Growth Energy, but just didn't work out to go out there. Too many other things going on. Um, but anyway, so Secretary Vilsack, though, is addressing the crowd at Growth Energy, and they are streaming it live. So we will go and I'll go listen over to that here and try to wrap this up fairly soon. Do a quick CI Chit Chat here today. With it being quick, maybe a shout out to go back to our YouTube page or go to the TopSoil podcast, and you can listen to my TopSoil webinar that I did last week with Mariannette Miller-Meeks. Mariannette Miller-Meeks is the congresswoman for Southeast Iowa. She's been in Congress now. This is her second term, and she is the chair of the Conservative Climate Caucus. She was one of the key people in making sure that 45Z stays and doesn't get cut in the debt ceiling discussions. She's really helped to lead the charge on that as we look at policy for 2025 as well. I had an amazing full hour discussion one-on-one with Congresswoman Miller-Meeks last week. We had a nice group of folks that were on there, some great questions from the crowd. And I thought our audience did a really good job of being professional with her and asking good questions and having great discussion. And we definitely didn't hold back, that's for sure. But it was a couple key pieces of takeaway from Congresswoman Miller-Meeks. She is definitely not confident that there's going to be a farm bill this year. I'm hearing mixed signals on that. Some people saying, "Oh yeah, like they're getting really close and it's going to happen." It sounds like Farm Bureau and some of the Farm Bureau presidents and stuff have been really pushing on it and made some good progress here recently, is what I heard. But Mariannette Miller-Meeks was not confident that a farm bill was going to get done, but she was more bullish on 45Z rules coming out, saying, that this administration, of course, their big, flagship piece of policy, of course, is the Inflation Reduction Act. And they want to get these rules out there and they want to get the dollars moving, before the election here, or get the rules out there so that the dollars can be moving before the election here this November. So hopefully they'll make some progress. And again, I'm gonna do a really short CI chit chat here today, so I can go over and listen to Secretary Vilsack and see what indications he is giving in terms of some rules coming out. Um, where those rules that we're waiting for, of course, are from the IRS. So the Inflation Reduction Act was passed over 2 years ago now, and we're still waiting for some of the final rules to come out from the Department of Treasury, from the IRS. They, by law, have to get some things out by the end of the year. Hopefully, hopefully they get some other rules out sooner. Seeing stuff all the time in and some of the different news things that I get and stuff, that just for constant push uh, for the rules to get put out. Constant push from different Congress folks to get the rules pushed out there, um, get the rules done timely, use the GREET model, and make sure the farmers can be innovative. And that's really what Congresswoman Miller-Meeks was pushing on that as well. That farmers need to be innovative. We need to go with the whole GREET model, not the three practice bundle approach. So that was really great to hear her talk about that. Um, so go back to our YouTube page if you want to listen to that full recording from Mariannette Miller-Meeks. I believe next week or the week after, maybe Diana's already got it in here. Yeah. Next, what do we got? October 3rd, talking details of creating tax credits with a tax credit broker. And that's one of the huge pieces of news here this week. A huge shout out to the folks at Harvestone Energy. They own three different ethanol plants. But Harvestone announced this week, or just last week, I guess it was, but Harvestone announced last week that they have come to an agreement with Bank of America to sell to them $205 million worth of tax credits. $205 million, one ethanol group. Okay, they have a couple different plants, but they primarily, we're talking about one of their plants that's up in North Dakota that's already doing carbon capture. They are sitting over the geological formations where they can just drill straight down and just put the carbon straight down. But massive, massive news that, I knew that there was a lot of these conversations going on with tax credit creators, the biofuel producers, trying to sell these credits on contract to the buyers. But to have the first big deal announced and having a dollar figure of $205 million on it, like that is incredible. So, um, I we know these guys, and I sent the CEO a congratulatory message, and uh, his response back was essentially of like, yeah, we've got some real opportunity here. They're already doing carbon capture, so they know they're going to be low. They know that they're going to have a low CI score. And his message to me was, yeah, hopefully we get the 45Z rules the way that we want them to be, and enable the corn farmers to be part of our solution, because we've got some real opportunity to go and create these credits and sell them, and money to be had for everybody is essentially what it was. Just his interest in making sure that the farmers get to be part of the solution for them. Of course, pending the 45Z rules going through the way that we're all hoping for. So huge shout out to those guys at Harvestone, $205 million worth of tax credits in transaction number one. Like that is just incredible. I don't know what time frame that's over. Obviously, that's not a 1 year thing. That's a multi-year thing. And looking between the lines, again, I don't know all the details, but you're creating tax credits, right? So it could be from 45Z, could be from 45Q. And I think that's probably why they were able to go and make this massive deal, is that they've got 45Z for a couple of years that they know that they're going to be able to create because of their carbon capture. They can either create all the tax credits and now they have a buyer in that 3 year window, or 45Z goes away at the end of 2027 and they switch over to 45Q and they keep creating the tax credits that way, and life goes on. So interesting, that making that huge, huge sale. Hopefully that helps to get the ball rolling for a lot of other big pre-sales to happen as well. I'm assuming there wasn't any cash exchange right now. I don't know the details, but at least they've got a known buyer and they're looking at buying a freaking pile of tax credits for $205 million worth of tax credits. Just amazing. Okay, again, Secretary Vilsack is going on with Growth Energy. Let me see. I don't know. I'll give you guys the link. I don't know if it's open or not. Okay. I think that link will get you to their talk. If anyone wants to go over there and listen in on that. Um, but we'll go over there and I'll provide a debrief on next week's CI Chit Chat. But last thing that I for sure want to hit on is some of the stuff that we've been sending out about ADM. Continuum Ag and ADM do not have an agreement together. That's not what this is about. It's just that we've been getting a ton of questions from our farmers saying, "Hey, ADM's final sign up is on Friday. What do I need to do? Should I do this or can I not do this?" And our message is go ahead and get the initial interest form done with ADM. It's got to be, if you know that you're going to be selling grain to ADM over the next year or so, if you know you're going to be selling to ADM, and if you know that, uh, mainly on that, if you know you're going to be selling to ADM, and especially if you know that the grain is going into biofuels, look at getting signed up for this program. There's no commitment at this point. It's just getting the initial interest form done. I went through it as well just to make sure that I knew what was in there. Looks fine. You can put Continuum as where you heard about this from, and you can put Continuum as your data partner if you're involved in our CI certification program. We already have your data, and put down my phone number as the contact information. Reach out to me if you need anything on that. Thanks, Diana, for getting the notes in there. But if you know you're going to be selling to ADM, get signed up and at least be able to have this as a key option. I had a nice conversation with the ADM guys yesterday. They reassured me that if 45Z is something that they can tap into, which they're not near as bullish on it as I am, but if 45Z is something that can work for them, they will share the money with the farmers. They think that there's going to be additional data that they'd have to collect, and there'll be some lift there anyway, and they'll be renegotiating contracts and stuff. They don't anticipate doing that on this 2024 crop. Like basically, I've punted on it, and more so are looking at uh, they're looking to next year and future contracts and stuff before they include 45Z. But we'll see how the rules come out. I mean, everyone's kind of sitting and waiting. They have current programs already. The ADM program pays up to 8 cents a bushel on corn and up to 7 cents a bushel on soybeans. And the protocol is ISCC. That's the European market program. And that's why the dollar amount, like it's nothing crazy. It's this year, it's access to the European market. Um, it's a program that they can be rolling out right now. They've already been doing it for a couple of years. They've increased the dollar amount a little bit. And hopefully they can stack 45Z on top of that when the time comes. But for now, they don't know how 45Z is going to work. We don't know how it's going to work either. So if you know that you're going to be selling to ADM, might as well get your initial data in there and be in position to capitalize on the 8 cents for corn and up to 7 on soybeans. We'll help you with the data, and we'll see what the program looks like going forward. And when we get the 45Z rules, have some opportunity there. The ADM program is a carbon program, and in their messaging and stuff in the contracts, it says you can't be in any other private carbon program, but it doesn't say anything about a public carbon program like a 45Z thing. So we'll see how the rules end up shaping up there. I still have a lot of worries in all of these different programs, but if you know you're going to be selling to ADM anyway, good opportunity to go ahead and at least get the initial interest form done. And we've got some time between now and the data submittal to make some additional, decisions as far as how much of your grain are going to sell there, how much of your data are you going to send over there and put in. We'll work with you through it. So anyway, go ahead and get the initial sign up form done if you're selling to ADM, and let us know if we can help you out. Okay, I had one other question I want to get to, and then we're going to cut today's CI Chit Chat short. Secretary Vilsack is addressing growth energy here this morning. I want to go see what he's got to say. So, okay, so I had a question come in specifically asking about, hey, is this ADM program the best that we're going to be able to do. You heard that Big River is going to be doing a program, but only to a small select group. Seems like our options are slim at this point, unless more programs become available in our area. And this guy, Jared, thanks for the question. And it's exactly right. I mean, this ADM thing, it's for the European market. Big River has a small pilot project going on just to start proving some concepts. And again, they're basically doing the exact same thing as what ADM and Poet and the rest of them are doing. Just very small scale, not necessarily paying anything, but just starting to gather some farmer data. We've been doing, essentially the same type of thing, helping farmers get their scores, helping farmers get their data put together. So that way, when these programs do come available, you're ready to rock and roll. These programs today, I don't think they're going to be the same look and feel as when 45Z comes out. I think 45Z happens. I've had conversations with 120 different ethanol plants, and by and large, they're saying, no, we want to be able to share more of the dollars with the farmers. We know that we need them collaborating with us if we're going to capitalize on this. And we are going to be upping our prices when we know if we can. I mean, there's no promises on when or how that's going to work out. Nobody knows what the rules are going to be yet, but these programs today, they're small scale pilot projects. Know what you're signing up for. Happy to take a look at the contracts and stuff with you. Make sure that you don't have no upside. And that's been my big worry. And um, my concern in this is if farmers do give away all their data for 2 cents or 5 cents or 8 cents, whatever it may be, if they give away all that data and don't get any of the potential upside of 45Z, like that really would not be good. And make sure that in any contract that you're signing what you're actually signing up for, and make sure that you're not capping that upside. And again, we're happy to help. We'll try to keep bringing the program stuff to you, and we will go from there. So with that though, I just got a message from Brad that they're getting started over there with Vilsack. So you guys might be able to go in there in the chat. I put in the link. Joanne, the TopSoil webinar, Diana put in the chat up earlier. The TopSoil webinar is October 3rd. Is going to be our webinar with Faith Larson from Mickelson and Co. They're a tax credit broker. And I'm sure it's on our website, and we'll email some of the stuff out about it as well, and push some stuff out there on the marketing side. But anyway, so ADM, congrats to the Harvestone guys on the huge sale of credits. We'll go see what old Tommy Vilsack is saying about 45Z. Hopefully, some indication that there's going to be some movement. So anyway, good short chit chat here today. Have a good rest of your week, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday, and hopefully there'll be some more movement in all this. Let us know if you need help with data stuff, but we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.